Ladies and gentlemen,
this is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio. This is episode 1463. I had to look at it because it's been a while. 1463. This is Danny Peña, and also joining me here. It's been a long time coming, Mr. Pete.
Has it, though?
It's been a month or two, right?
Has it been a long time coming?
I can't even keep up with you. Your schedule's all over the place. How you been, man?
Doing good. Temperatures have dropped here in Europe, so currently 10 degrees outside, although I am in shorts. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so you don't have to worry your PC gets hot in the room anymore.
It's funny enough, because it's the winter time. Well, I had done this about 4 months ago. Obviously, here in Europe, most of Europe doesn't have air conditioning, right? Some countries like Spain, etc., have air conditioning, right? But here in Switzerland, we don't have air conditioning, or at least it's not common, because you have to spend extra. You have to pay an extra dispensation cost, and obviously the construction to do it. But this is an apartment, so I don't have. I wouldn't be able to do it. But at that time, because of the warm weather, I swapped out my air cooler to an all-in-one, which I already had at the house from when I originally built this machine. So now my computer never gets above, at least the CPU doesn't get above 60, and the GPU stays about 45, 50.
That's good.
So even at in mid game, the fans and everything, it never goes above 60. So
I've been playing a lot of games recently, especially Call of Duty. We're gonna be talking about it in a few, but it can get hot up in here in this room. I sometimes turn on the AC, but I also it's been nice weather over here. It's like in the 60s, high 60s, low 70s. So I usually just open the window and just chill like that. Nice little breeze. So it's been good, man. All right, everyone. So another thing I want to mention too, that Arctic in the chat, for those who are watching live, if you're listening, this is only for those who are watching live. We have a couple of Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta codes, and just be on Twitch, Gamertag Radio on Twitch, and hit him up. He's going to be giving out some codes there, man. I think we have a couple left, so I know he gave them out too on Discord, but shout out to everybody that got a code. Congrats. Hope you guys are having a good time. And shout out to Activision for sending us codes. So before we go to this Call of Duty news, and look, this is not official. This just been going around the past couple days, so I'm going to briefly talk about it. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because a good friend, Tom Warren, said something about it too that I'm like, okay, I think we should briefly talk about it to see if this is, legit or not. But and I know I mentioned it to Pete before we recorded. There's a rumor that Xbox might be going full third party and leaving hardware for good. And this is from a source. He's a leaker that usually knows some stuff internally at Xbox. And I just want to, have this conversation. Look, and we're not going to talk long about it because, again, this is not official. This is just like a rumor. And I have some thoughts, but I also want to hear what P had to say. I know he said some couple of things here on our chat. What you think, P, about this news? Not this rumor. I mean, this rumor, not official, but I just want to hear your thoughts.
It's always a rumor. I think maybe we should give a little bit of context to what people are talking about.
Sure.
We'll put it in the chat as well, so if people want to read along while we discuss it, probably wouldn't hurt. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to talk about.
Wow.
Okay.
What was that about?
No, that's my notes for something else that we're talking about here, but well.
Yo, Pete basically posted the whole thing on the
No. That's my notes because that's what I do. Anyway, but so there's a rumor going on right now that they might be going full. That Xbox, right, might be going full third party and leaving hardware for good, right? So the rumor states comes from known leaker Sneakers SO, who has previously leaked Xbox initial plans to start porting its game to other consoles. Said that that their plans to produce the next Xbox hardware went from being really concrete to up in the air, which was confusing to say the least, because the time to pull the trigger on manufacturing isn't that far, right? So the goal was to begin in 2026, likely for a 2027 launch, but the leaker makes it sound as if Microsoft is not so sure about going through that any longer. And to be honest, we've known for years that Xbox has always been in it for the software side of things, right? Hardware has always been a lost leader for them, whether it's the research and development, whether it's the sales of the hardware, whether they've done well or not is a different conversation topic. But their money has always been in the software part, right? Whether it was, sale of games, obviously now Xbox or Game Pass is the thing for them, and we'll transition to another component of that conversation later in the show. But when you think about it, having to develop brand new hardware for a brand new console that's supposed to have a 3 to 5 year life cycle takes a lot of money to do, right? Besides the fact that you're looking at hardware development, testing, Q&A, production models, obviously, again, not to make this into a political topic or anything, but you have to look into taxes, tariffs, we're going to use the big T word. All of those things go into, and it's also, the overhead of employees, contractors, development, software, licensing to build and stand up these dev kits before they turn into actual models and units. All of that costs a lot of money. We've seen over the last few years, and we have to give kudos to Nintendo for being the leader in this and opening up the conversation of when handhelds actually can be a viable hardware piece of tech, right? We saw it with the Switch/Switch 2. We saw it with the Valve Steam Deck. We've seen it with the Asus, the ROG Ally, and MSI's model, and with the Claw or whatever they came up with. We've seen the success and how powerful these small handheld units could be that could run. Not to say that they're going to be, they're going to be on Digital Foundry punching away against, a full-blown $5,000-$6,000 piece of kit on a desk, but in comparison to a console, they're comparable, right? So that said, I think in the grand scheme of things, Microsoft has taken a look at the overall picture and realized why keep throwing money down a well for nothing? Well, not to say for nothing, but why keep throwing money down a well for a known loss on the balance books when they can turn that around, either focus on software, right? Focus on games, things that have always, or at least for the last 10 plus years, has been a negative for them, right? Focus on the catalog and and focus on the cloud, right? Focus on Game Pass, continuing to make it, what used to be the best value in games. But focusing on other parts of the business. Now, that said, you are going to disturb or at least upset some of the stalwarts of your constituency by, I've dedicated the last 10, 15, 20 years of putting Xbox as my preferred console. And now they kind of feel almost, I don't want to, betrayal might be a hard or a harsh word for it, but now it's like, okay, well, now this Xbox ecosystem that I've invested all my, a good 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, Xbox turns 25?
Yeah, next year.
So for the better part of the age of people listening to this show, or for most of that, right, they may or may not have been part of that Xbox ecosystem, right? And so now it's like, wait, they'll still have the ecosystem. It just won't be the plastic box in the middle of the living room or in their bedroom that goes boop, where they play their games. Now it'll be on a handheld, like whether it's your Steam.
Well, that's PC, but that's PC handheld. It's not a console handheld. Correct that, So
it's about the same thing, though. Right?
But yeah, there's games that's not available on Xbox PC. There's only on console. That's the problem.
Fair enough. But taking themselves out of the hardware loop allows them the opportunity to hopefully focus on the catalog of games and the rest of the services that surround Microsoft itself when it comes to gaming. I think the next big question that we have to ask ourselves, well, we have to ask Microsoft, what happens to that multi-year dealer that they signed with AMD to make consoles?
Yeah.
So that is the one part. Now, do they get the opportunity to renegotiate that deal that they signed with AMD? Do they now say, okay, well, now the Microsoft handheld will be AMD powered with an RDNA, GPU, et cetera? There's a lot of other questions now, but as far as this rumor goes, I'm not sure whether it's good or bad yet. I think it's a decision made based on the balance sheet, and maybe with a little toss of realism thrown in there. Identifying that, okay, look, maybe we recognize we're not the best. Sony and Nintendo have been soundly defeating them for the last few years. So why continue investing money into something that continues to be a loss for almost the entire span of where Microsoft was in the hardware business, right? Maybe now's the right time to take a step back and say, okay, let's do this instead. Let's focus on games in like where they should have, where they've made their money, right? Focus more on what makes the money as opposed to focusing it on a loss.
I totally get what you're saying. A couple of things I've been thinking about ever since this rumor popped up, and I think this is where Xbox is going. I think they're still going to have, these consoles, current consoles, the Series S and X, still available. It's going to be small in the future, small amount of units in the future. And if there's something like next gen, it's probably going to be available to the cloud through those consoles and everything, right? But I think because of everything that's happening now with the handheld device from Asus and Xbox, and it's been going well, it's sold out a couple of days ago, I think a week ago or so, when the pre-orders, it's been selling pretty good. Now, again, I don't know how many units it was available like online, but it's been selling. I think Xbox might be going to this route where it happened years ago with Valve. Remember the Steam Machine, where they partner with different companies to have different versions. It was very confusing, by the way, but they had different versions of Steam Machine. I think in the future we might see something like that where Xbox might go away from the hardware business, but they will partner with somebody, with another company, so they could have a console or handheld device in the future. It might be Asus or who knows with who. But they will still have Game Pass, still will have cloud gaming, all these games available on all different platforms. But instead of investing so much on the hardware business, why not partner with somebody, with a different company to do that? That's what I see. I see that's the vibe because it's been going well. And look, just talking to the game show happened, like a couple weeks ago or so. Sarah and Phil, they were there, and they were just taking pictures of them playing the device, the handle device. They were also taking pictures with the team at Asus over there, too. And I think it makes sense. Like right now, it sounds crazy because it's saying that they're not going to make any, they're going to go away from the hardware business. But I think this makes the most sense to partner with different companies in order to do that. So I know you mentioned about the contract at AMD. Why not have that with a different partnership of a company and also have that available for the next hardware in the future, And look, it could be also multiple companies, different devices, exactly how Steam Machine happened. But I think that will be a dumb move instead of maybe work on just one hardware with one company instead of multiple. That's what I could see. So it could be Asus. Maybe that's the company that Xbox will partner with in the future to continue the hardware. But here's the issue that I have though with that. The handheld Xbox Ally, is it Xbox Ally? ROG, whatever. It's whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that, like I was saying earlier, that's a PC handheld device. So it's not a console device. And I know the rumors that we've been hearing now for a while is that the next Xbox console is going to be a PC, basically. So have Steam on there, have the Xbox app, have all these apps available in that hardware that you still play Steam games. You'll also go play some PlayStation games in there too and everything, but instead of having it as a console, I think this whole console hardware is just going to go away. And I think that's going to be the other way they're going to be working on software and hardware in the future. And please let me know if I'm wrong or not, but I think it makes sense. That makes sense for business wise. And look, like you mentioned, Pia, a couple minutes ago, you mentioned that, and this happened since the beginning, since the first console. They've been losing a lot of money per unit. I think the most successful one was the Xbox 360, but Reign of Death was terrible for the company. They lost billions and billions of dollars on that one. Xbox One is sold, but not compared to like the previous console, like the 360. Xbox Series S, I think, is doing better than the Xbox One, and I think there's a lot of things that Xbox been working on, with like cloud gaming, Game Pass, and so on. That I think this makes the most sense for them to continue with the PC way, PC hardware, instead of just a console. And I think they will save more money with that, So, thoughts?
It's hard to say because without a lot more research, it's difficult to say what the actual loss for themselves are.
Sure.
The amount of money that goes into development of any kind of hardware, right, is substantial, right? We're talking oftentimes, like we said, it's a loss leader. They didn't make money on the hardware they sold. It was a verifiable loss based on the amount of money invested. When we're talking the hundreds of millions, if not billions, when we're talking about R&D on hardware. Look, licensing of the Blu-ray drive to make sure that their games fit on a disc inside the device.
Well, they're going digital. The next one, it's not.
I get that. But you have to remember, people still want, whether they want it or not. There's a significant amount of the gaming community that would rather keep the disc in their hands because they don't want the ability to lose that piece of that game. And we've talked about, what is it? Saving documenting the history of gaming by keeping discs and keeping physical media. That's a whole other conversation of e-waste versus whatever. But, there's a large, substantial amount of, customers that want to continue collecting that J case and the digital media, and that's in their right to do that because then they actually own the game and they're able to play it whenever they want. Now we go back into backwards compatibility and whatnot, but I think whether it's the right decision or not is not up to us. But I think the writing may be on the wall. Hopefully not, because if you look at it from if you expand out to like a 50,000-foot view, by acquiescing to this decision, you may allow Sony to now grab a monopoly on next gen gaming, or. Let me put my thoughts correctly here. Not so much on the monopoly, but then they dictate the market. They can now say, okay, games are not, if you want a next gen game, it's $99.95. Again, speculation. I'm talking out the side of my neck right here. This isn't factual. This isn't truth. But it does open the door for Sony to then say, okay, well, Microsoft's no longer in the business. Mm-hmm. We can dictate pricing. There's no such thing as, the only exclusives will belong to them, which, okay, fine, we may or may not get day and date because of it's they'll still maintain exclusivity rights to their devices and to their titles. But it opens the door for a lot more questions to come with regards to where we go as in this generation. We're in the 7th generation of gaming.
I can't even keep up.
I know. Well, what happens beyond this if this does happen, right? Whether it's Asus or MSI or whomever it is that becomes that partner for them. But I think the advent of gaming and streaming games, the ability to send it from my computer to my NVIDIA Shield in the living room and allow me to play in my living room on a big 65, to allow me to stream it from my computer or my console to my Steam Deck or to my handheld device, opens the door to a lot of realities that we didn't really look at 5-10 years ago. And you think about the development cycle on these devices, and it's anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So now, like 5 years ago, think about it, it's 2020. We were coming out of the pandemic, and we couldn't have people in factories. Manufacturing facilities were shut down, powered down, and there was nothing happening. And so the thought pattern was, well, if we can't sell a physical device, how do we get games into people's hands? And I think that's where streaming, that might have been the impetus for where, okay, well, let's focus on streaming games and, and whatnot. And that was the death of the console.
Everything changed, man. I remember at that time.
Yeah.
I remember that time.
Right? Not to say that definitively that is the reason, but I mean, that could, all certainty, kind of be like where this rumor might have kicked off as an initial light bulb idea at Microsoft.
A couple of things. I remember back in Gamescom, and this is when I'm like, wait a minute, they're really pushing this. So Gamescom, for those that went there, and I know I've seen pictures, videos of it, that Asus Xbox, ROG Xbox Ally, damn, that name is so long.
Just say Asus Ally, because
Asus
ROG
Ally,
is just a division. It's
I know, but still, whatever. It's too long. Damn it. So at Gamescom, that was the focus, like the majority of the in the booth at Xbox was that handheld device over there. So again, it's not an Xbox product. They partnered with someone, and they were pushing that everywhere, even during interviews. Xbox, like the execs, like Sarah and Phil. That's all they were talking about. All the pictures you see them, trying out the device and all this stuff. So they're really pushing it. I think that's what's going to happen, man. I just can't see now. Thinking about it, it makes more sense where this is heading at. And right now, I know all the headlines that we get to see online has been they're going away hardware business and clickbait stuff. I get it. Again, it's a rumor. It's not real yet. But I think that's where they're going. I think so. If this is true, and here's another thing too. This rumor came out. Was it late Friday? Yesterday or something over the weekend. If Xbox stays quiet and then more media picks up, and now the major media outlets picks it up, and Xbox doesn't say anything, then this is real. But if they want to control the message, I think somebody gonna come out and say something instead of being quiet about it. So like, remember a couple of years back, it was like 2 years ago. So was it last year or 2 years ago with the business update, the podcast where they briefly talk about going multi-platform, and they did like a podcast in there instead of having like an official thing or just a blog post? Cause I think it would have been better like that. It was Phil, Sarah, and Matt, and they did an interview, and they were saying that this was going to be a test going multi-platform, and look where we're at right now. Times are changing, man. I know it is rough and it's very weird to say this, but time has just been changing, man. Companies are investing a lot of money, and they want to keep it as cheap as possible now. And they need to make changes, and I get it. Like, I see why this might happen. But to me, as a fan, it's just straight up weird. It is weird as hell. You know, look, I got a code for Gears of War Reloaded when it came out, alongside Helldivers 2, another crazy thing too, having it on Xbox. But I was playing that on Xbox, and I was playing Gears of War on PS5. 100% of the time, I was only playing that. Not on my PC, not on Xbox, only PS5. Because I just wanted to see the experience, just feel the experience, how it is, the different controller and everything. And I had a good time, man. I think at the end of the day, it's all about the software, man. Where the software is at, if it's available everywhere, which the majority of people care about that, they don't care about, like, let me just buy one console and that's it. Like, I think people are, especially the younger generation, they don't care about branding, man. They just want to play the game where available everywhere. If it's available on the mobile device, they'll play there. If it's on a tablet, console, PC, they'll play that. Even cloud, you know. And it's getting expensive, man. Yep, I see John. Shout out to John Wiki. Say my wallet is changing with the times too. Yep, everything is getting expensive now, man. Everything is expensive. And here's the thing. And I wish Paris was here because we could have talked to him about this too. But if Xbox decide to do this, to partner with other companies for the hardware business or whatever, they also get a cut. They're not going to be investing a lot of money on, maybe in marketing. They invest money on marketing and help them on working on the hardware and so on. I can see that. But the majority of the money is going to go on through the partner. And it's less money for Xbox / Microsoft. Do you think that makes sense? And let me know in the chat. For those that are listening, please tell me. Please. Am I the only one thinking this? Like, I haven't heard this from anyone. I think everyone right now is talking about hardware is going away, whatever. Like, that's all I've been seeing. But I'm thinking outside of the box. What is it that makes more sense for them to continue? And I think this is. Oh wait, so Paris just said on Twitter that the rumor is false. Okay, I completely missed that. Sorry, but thank you. But this is fun to talk about. But go ahead.
Just doesn't work for Microsoft though.
I know. Why you're not here? Oh, call us, Paris. Call us so you can tell us. I can't read your post. But hey, I mean, look, I can see that happening, bro. Even if this rumor is false, I can still see that happening, man. It didn't work. It didn't work for Valve, and the reason was there was too many devices, too many hardware. Prices were all over the place. It was very confusing, and I didn't know which one was the best one to buy. I had the Alienware version of Steam Machine. It was very confusing. Too many. Now it makes sense, having Steam OS and all this. Like, it's a lot better now, but like at that time, very, very confusing. But hey, if this rumor is false, at least my thoughts wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad at all. And Paris, you could call us. You don't have to be on camera. You could call us if you want to talk about this. I know he's here listening, whatever. Let us know. You have the link to join in case. I don't know if he has to say anything. He has to say everything. You know what, Paris? Stop posting and come on, man, join us. He is with us. He's hiding somewhere. He's just listening on the low. Actually, I'm going to look for that tweet from Jez to see if it's true. I'm going to find it to see if it's true. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is from Jez. All right. Can you guys see that or no? It's just too... Can you see that?
Yeah.
You can? All right, let me push this over here. Hold on a sec. Yo, why it looks so different over here? Anyways, okay, these are still the plans as of right now, but you never know with Xbox changing strategy. Here's the thing, Paris. He didn't say it's false, but things might be changing behind the scenes. He also says there are. Let me see what it says here, so I can focus on that. There are presently no plans to cancel any planned Xbox hardware. The plans outlined by Sarabon and AMD multi-year partnership for the first-party hardware. They're still the plans as of right now, but the facts, the rumor are possible, showcase a real issue with the faith in Xbox. So he kind of said this could be true or is fake. So it's kind of like both, right, Pete?
Like
it looks like
Jez doesn't work for Microsoft.
He doesn't work there.
So, and for those that can't see it, I don't know if you can zoom in, Danny.
Oh, if I can, I'm sorry, man. Let me. Let me see if I could do this. Wait, hold on. Let me see.
For those that can't.
Oh wait, Paris is on
microtext.
I see Paris here. Paris.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Stop trying to bully me into coming on your freaking show. When I'm sitting here in the hotel, I'm here with my children in Seattle. I'm going to go see the Bucks game, and you bullied me to come on here, so here I am. What do you want?
You know what? Because you know you miss us, man. You know you miss us.
Jesus Christ. Obviously, I was watching the thing, and I'm commenting, and you're like, why are you not up here? Why is there? You know
we have a couple.
What I'm doing.
We have a couple people in the chat saying "Go Bucks," but good luck. I don't look Paris. I respect Paris because he, even though the Dolphins has been bad this season, he's been respectfully FU Pete. Paris been very respectful.
See, unlike Pete, because you don't think I didn't hear what you said about Florida State earlier. I watched it, and man, when they scored, when they went up 28-3, I was like, oh my God, we're getting boat race. I was like, we get boat race. This is embarrassing.
All right, Paris.
2 minute time. Okay,
all right,
what's up?
All right, so you heard what I said. I saw what Jez wrote. I feel like it's a yes and no right now. It's not. I personally think that Xbox, and I know you said it too. Xbox has to say something. They can't just stay quiet and just let this rumor go around. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to end up in one of the major.
Yeah, my thing at this point, rumors are rumors. I guess this person did call out when they would be doing the multi-platform strategy, so that gives that person some credibility. Weird that you're posting on NeoGAF in 2025, but okay.
Yes,
that is true.
But, I guess Tom Warren said something, and then I haven't seen what he said, but someone said Jason Schreier said something too.
Oh, he did? Okay, he's on Blue Sky.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I saw what Jez said. Jez just basically said he reached out to some of his sources, and they're saying, no, they're still making hardware. So it's goes to what you just said and what I had said on the chat, that, man, at this point, you got to say something, because the rumors will just go wild, and that's all people are going to talk about, because we have precedent with rumors and them changing stuff, and you just raised the price of Game Pass. It's like people will lose confidence in the brand. Like, you told me 3 months ago you're making hardware. Now you're not. Which one is it? And honestly, all they have to have is a simple statement. We're committed. We're still committed to making next generation hardware. Done. That's all you got to say. You don't have to say nothing else. You don't have to elaborate on it, because all you're doing is reiterating what Sarah Bond already said 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. So no, I don't need a business update with Sarah and Phil and Matt and
Tina.
They don't need to do any of that stuff. Just a simple one-note statement and be done. But I do think they need to say something. I don't think silence says more, in my opinion. If you don't say anything, then people are just going to speculate, and the rumors are just going to go wild.
But you know what it is, though, Paris? I feel like there's been so many random changes over there that's been happening. And
that's my point. Yeah.
And it's just, now I'm getting to the point where, is it possible that this thing is going to happen? But
that's what I'm saying.
But what I was saying earlier, I could see them partnering with Asus and
Well, I
just
think
do
they
it.
were doing that anyways.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I don't think any of us didn't think they weren't going to have OEM hardware. I fully expected partner hardware. Like this Asus, this handheld is just step one in a multi-step process. So, and this is where wires could get crossed and why we're hearing this. I do think you will see an Asus branded Xbox console, a Lenovo branded one on down the line, right? I think this happens. And I've said, and people try to mock me for saying this, but I think there will be a day where you will literally just build a PC with Windows, enable game mode, and it's an Xbox console.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're seeing step one of that right now with the handheld. Why do you think the handheld is able to launch in the Xbox full screen experience, disables desktop and other unneeded resources? It will be the same exact thing on a workstation, on a desktop. So that's happening. Windows will be the new operating system for the next generation of Xbox. That was already happening. Who makes the hardware? I think we're assuming Microsoft makes their own, but even if they don't, they're going to partner with someone to make something that's quote unquote Xbox branded. It is not going to be the same as it has been previously. That I already knew that anyways. So that I'm not surprised by. I would just be shocked if they just completely abandon doing anything hardware related, whether they do it themselves or they do it with a partner. That would surprise me. So that's where I think they do need to clarify this somewhat. Obviously, I'm pretty sure AMD, if you've signed agreements with them, and I get the chips can obviously be used for cloud and stuff like that. But if you've already committed to signing documents, you got Jason Ronald leading the next gen experience and all that. So you're telling me within a 90-day period, they've completely just tanked all of that? That would surprise me personally. But at the same time, nothing surprises me anymore. So I'm not, we'll see. We'll freaking see. But this is why I'm saying they got to say something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been interesting seeing social media because of this rumor.
Of course. Bro, I got dudes making freaking videos with Godfather music about me. Cause I guess allegedly I've only been Xbox since 2017. I was PC before that. It's so stupid. So don't take social media seriously at all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Nothing surprises me now, man. Nothing surprises me with all these changes with Xbox. I mean, we'll see.
No, I mean we'll see. We'll see. Look, and I know. I guess because I haven't listened to the previous episode. Because I guess you and Ree already talked about the Game Pass stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's a really great conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it on Kind of Funny, and I was on with Rand talking about it with him the other day. But my thing is, I don't agree with any of it. I will never agree to a price raise. Sorry, just won't. $30 is too much for your premium tier. You're pricing people out of it. That might be on purpose. Maybe they have data that show. Who knows? All I know is me as a customer seeing that. I don't agree with it. I think it's a bad idea. It's not player first. It's not pro consumer, in my opinion. These prices are out of control. Your current hardware obviously costs way too much now. Now, excuse me, your premium day and date subscription service, which is the whole reason people love Game Pass in the first place, is way too expensive. It's making the hobby less and less inclusive for everyone. Agreed. That's my biggest issue. Is it used to be anybody, like the further you get into a generation, the cheaper the hardware gets. Obviously, the games one point were like $50, then they were 60. Now they're 78. It's like it's getting to be too much. The one thing with all the crazy nonsense that's been going on with Xbox the past few years was, well, at least we got Game Pass. We still had that, right? Well, hey, you can still do that. Now you even got to look at that and question it. That's my problem with all of this.
Wait.
Oh,
what happened?
Microsoft Ninja's got him.
No. Wait, hold up.
Microsoft got him.
There you go. I got it. Let's fix it. It's all good. You there, Paris?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I was here the whole time. I saw y'all the whole time.
It's all good.
What was the last thing you heard? I don't know. I was ranting.
Nah, just I know you mentioned like the prices and all that stuff.
Yeah. It's just
Like,
it's just too much. It's getting to be too much. That's all.
I mean, listen to the conversation. We talk more than just about price increases. It's an interesting conversation, but you guys should check it out if you want. I know you have to go, Paris, but anything else about this before you have to go?
Here's what I'll say. We're talking way too much about the business of gaming and not the games themselves.
Agreed.
This October is arguably the biggest month Xbox has ever had for games. Arguably. You could argue different ones, but it's up there, right? Mm-hmm. We ain't talking about none of that. We ain't talking about Ninja Gaiden 4. We're not talking about the Outer Worlds 2. We're not talking about Keeper. Hell, Black Ops 7, I guess y'all don't talk about that in the 7, is in the beta right now. Battlefield 6, right, is about to come out. I mean, Ghost of Yote is out right now. You can go play. We're not talking about those things. We're talking about they're going to make hardware? Goddamn. Why is the subscription cost so damn much now? We're talking about these things, what we shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you look at our content, and I'm going to look at it right now, I think the majority has been all games. We talked about the device here and there, handheld, but the majority has been all about games, man. But hey, people like clickbait, I guess.
But hey, what do I know? I'm a PC influencer that got picked up by Xbox. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, you don't know anything. You don't know anything.
I wasn't at Zero Hour back in 2005, right? I didn't pick up, I wasn't at the Santa Monica E3 and sitting there mean mugging Shane Kim in the background, Peter Moore and all them, right? I wasn't at the speed round interviews where we were talking to all these people back then, right? I wasn't there at the Xbox One launch. None of that stuff, right? I wasn't at any of these things because I'm a PC guy, not an Xbox guy.
Yeah, people are just weird. People are weird, man.
I just, I'm making fun of it because I know they're listening.
I know.
That's why it's funny.
Yo, it's a weekend. There's so many cool things to do.
It's a weekend.
Call
Stop
of Duty
making
beta,
Godfather video.
which I'm going to talk about now. Great. Like, there's multiple games coming out. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But anyways, Paris. Wait, Pete, you're mute.
I think Paris nailed it on the head with his comment of we're talking more about the business of games than the actual games themselves. It's frustrating as a fan. It's frustrating as a gamer.
You're right, Pete. But let me say this one other thing. Again, taking it back in the day with GTR during the 2010s, right? It's the stupid old PC stuff. But being serious for a second,
yeah.
What was the thing that I was always, me and Mandy, right? People used to get so mad at me and Mandy back in the day because we weren't happy with the direction that Xbox was going, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was that 2016, that spring showcase I went to, right? And remember, I told you, Phil gave that keynote and he's laying out, the game, like all these things. And then I'll never forget, we go to that E3 that year. And Aaron Greenberg, he texts me because they did that was when they debuted Play Anywhere.
Yep.
And he's looking up, he's like, "Are you happy now?" And I'm like, "Yes." Because now you're doing something that's pro-consumer. You're taking the platform in a direction that I want to see it go, where you're making it more inclusive for more people to play. Obviously, the backwards compatibility strategy, all these things that they were doing in 2010. So yeah, you were very excited about where Xbox was headed. I mean, were they the leaders in the industry? Of course not. PlayStation still was, but they were doing the right things. And I feel like they've been doing the right things just up until a couple of years ago. And then now we're seeing, because of, you can blame it on the Activision thing, whatever you want to blame it on is fine. But they've pivoted to the point where we're constantly questioning the things that they're doing. I want to question it. I just make a bunch of good games so I can play them. That's all I care about, right? Nobody wants to talk about this nonsense 24/7. And until they find a stable lane to just stay in, we're going to continue to talk about this because it constantly seems like they're changing strategies, right? Because I felt like, and I'll say the last thing, I felt like, all right, at the June showcase, we finally were like, okay, we know what they're doing. All right, we've all accepted that games are going to be everywhere. Fine. Doing the cloud stuff. Sarah came out, talked about the next gen hardware. We've seen the handheld. We've seen all these things. Right now we know. And then here we are 3 months later. Now we don't know. Which one is it? Price and raises and all this stuff. Crazy. So that's what I think is most annoying about all this. We can't just pick a lane and just stick to it. Look, say what you want about PlayStation and Nintendo. You know what they're going to do. We're fine with
it. It's a consistency of being reactive to what anybody
exactly.
and everything is doing, and not focusing on a channel or a lane and being the best at it. They just keep reacting to everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I say this about Nintendo: love them, hate them, or whatever. But you know what they're going to do. Their games are only going to be on the Switch too, and they're going to charge you whatever they want to charge you, and you're just going to accept it because that's Nintendo.
Yep.
I mean, look at the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
Exactly.
$70.
Yep.
And I was curious. I'm like, let me go back to see the charts right now at eShop to see if it's selling or not. Bro, that thing is like number one.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yo. And that's what I'm saying. We might complain about the price, but clearly they know their audience and people are paying it.
People are paying it.
Yeah.
People are paying it. Oh, man. Well, Paris, we'll let you go, man. Thank you for calling over here, and hopefully we could talk more.
Well, you literally bullied me into calling you. Like, my son's standing there right in front of me.
Here's the thing. If I see you in the chat, I'm like, yo, might as well just say on the show. Why you gotta be text?
You bullied me. I was in there minding my business. I just said a couple things. I wasn't talking no trash or nothing.
No.
And then you bullied me to come in here.
You could have been quiet, not saying anything, and you would have been chilling. But you had to say something.
Hey, I'm at PC Fest. Leave me alone.
PC Fest. PC fanboy. Bye. But
again, I mean, he nailed it. I mean, right there, Ghost of Yotei, Super Mario Galaxy, Galaxy 2, Battlefield 6 coming out, Little Nightmares 3 is coming out, Pokemon Legends Z and A is coming out,
Yo, it's a lot of games,
Evolution, man. Ninja Gaiden 4, Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Persona 3 Reload, Outer Worlds 2, Arc Raiders. Dude, the amount of games coming out, that's just October. And what are we talking about?
I know.
Hard.
Well, I mean, it was just a conversation that I saw, and people were just wondering what's happening, That's all. But look at it. We were supposed to talk about Call of Duty. But anyway, let's talk about Black Ops very quick. Pete, so you've been playing Black Ops 7. I'll tell you my thing very quick on that one. Liking the game. I actually like this new Overload mode. I know they added a new one called Open Overload. So that one is they have like this matchmaking in there where I think it's based on your level. You will rank with other players like that because before it was just Wild Wild West is whoever. And people have been requesting that for a very long time, and they added it for this one. And I was very surprised that Treyarch added that super last minute. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool,
Yeah,
so I like it.
They added that. That was the mosh pit versus open mosh pit, right? So it's basically skills-based matchmaking was enabled. So now, if you want to jump into people that are at the current rank, tryhards and neckbeards are going to be sitting in there. The people who the hardcore players are going to be in that one. And so the one thing that kind of irked me was that they got rid of persistent lobbies, right? So as soon as you're done with the game, everybody's kicked out and you go match make with brand new people again. So you don't get to stay with the same people on and on and on and on.
Oh, okay. I mean, you would stay with your party though.
You stay with your party, yes. But for people that are jumping in and next thing you know, you can stay in. This is the thing that Battlefield has always been really, really strong at, is keeping those persistent lobbies to make sure that the people that are playing are playing. If you're playing with a group that you just bumped into, and you end up having a good rapport with them or a good reaction or a good response to, and you want to continue playing with them, you can't because they're gone. So
you play the Battlefield 6 beta, right?
Yeah.
So they had that in there too, because I don't remember.
I mean, hell, I was even playing Battlefield 4 like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Battlefield 4! Wow.
Yeah, so I was jumping into private lobbies on Battlefield 4 because I like the experience of playing a game with the same group of people, whether you're in a lobby or you're in Discord talking, or you're just jumping into public servers or private servers, etc. I like keeping them together. Mm-hmm. That might be more so for beta purposes, but you do now see the massive disparity between matchmaking times because it's much, much quicker when it doesn't have to do the skills-based matchmaking, SBMM or matchmaking, MMR. So you do see it. They are continuing to do more changes. And if I'm not mistaken, it's this week that they're opening up to public.
Tomorrow, right?
I think so.
It's like, I know the open beta is only for like a couple of days and it ends on the 8th.
Right. But that's great because then you get to continue. I like the fact that they're doing it. They're continuing to iterate and listen to feedback. The desync times have still been, they continue to be a little challenging. We'll use that for the lack of a better term. I do like the fact that they made wall running, or they're going to make wall running enabled by default. The new zombie level that they just turned on or enabled is really cool. Also, I like the fact, and if you don't have it, just restart the client. I'm on PC, so I just logged out, restarted the client, came back in, and it was shown. And they're talking about balancing the guns. And it's funny how they're doing all this iterative work as we ramp up into Battlefield 6. I still had some difficulty finding friends who wanted to play side by side with me on this thing. So, I did find a different group of people. So I am playing, but will I continue playing this long term? I don't know.
Okay. That's fair. I see myself playing this because I really look. Here's the thing: I know people are going to compare the Battle 6 beta and this. Like, I enjoy both. I have a lot of hours with Call of Duty, so I definitely will play that. I have I think 400 something hours. So it's one of those games where I just pick up and play very quick, play a couple rounds, and I'm done. Like, it's I like doing that. Play with friends and so on. So now with zombies, I can't really say much because it's so short. It's small. It's just one small area, and that's it. There's nothing. I got to see what else you could do when the actual game comes out because it's so small. So I can't really say much about it. It's fun, but it's small.
Yeah, they are, like I said, they're continuing to iterate, which is fun. I like the fact that it's like you can wake up the next day and they've already implemented the changes, or they've listened to feedback and they're implementing changes in real time, somewhat real time, right? Like some doors earlier in the week were, all the doors were open, and then I think it was yesterday or this morning, there were certain doors that were like permanently opened to areas in there. So they're listening and they're watching feedback and they're watching statistics in the background to see how to make the game more fun, as opposed to some of their earlier decisions impacting the fun of the game. So when a developer starts doing that, for me personally, it shows that they're actually listening. And this comes from someone who's been playing PUBG for the last 7 years, where the developer continues to make changes that nobody asked for. So it's refreshing to see developers finally going back into active development on existing games, especially a game that's going to come out in a month, right? So good on that. I think that's
cool.
I like it.
Yeah. Hook us up. I know they're going to be probably other modes probably they're going to add between now and the 8th for us to check out. We'll see. Who knows? They might surprise with a couple of things. So make sure to check out the beta. I know the open beta. I think it's tomorrow. I know it's up to the 8th. So the early access is up to now, to today at 10, and then after that, I think it's open beta. So shout out to Activision for sending us codes. Can't wait to play the full version. And here's the thing that I'm very excited about Black Ops. I'm excited to try out the co-op campaign, because in there you could also level up your character and everything. Because that was the issue that I've been having with Call of Duty for a long time. I stopped playing the campaign because I felt like I was being left out because all my friends is leveling up, prestige and all that stuff, and I'm like, let's forget about this campaign. But now that they added in the campaign, I think that is very, very smart. And not only that, they added endgame in the campaign, so other content, more things you could do after you finish the story. I am so curious to see about about that stuff, man. Super curious about it. It reminded me of us, Pete, when we got to play the Division 2, and then we got to see the end game for the first time. Like, yo, that was one of the coolest moments, getting the access to that when we went to the event for the Division 2 years ago. This is like before Division 2 came out. And it was the team on stage telling us what was about to happen. The first session was the actual campaign, and then they showed us the end game after the campaign. We started playing that like after lunch. And I was like, yo, this is insane. This is pretty cool. And it was tough at that time. But, yeah, I hope it's something like that. I think that would be cool. Are you excited to play the campaign? Because it's very, very different. It reminds me of like Control and that type of vibe,
So I've always been a big Call of Duty single player fan. And similar to you, I always played the single player first to get familiar with the game and get familiar with the controls, and then jumped into multiplayer. And I 100% agree with you. It did put me at a deficit jumping into lobbies, because then, people have already been playing for 3, 4, 5 days. And then, I'm coming in as straight cardboard when everybody else is, whether they're already, ranked or they've already prestiged, etc. And you're essentially wet cardboard. And it took some fun. It made it more frustrating getting in. Now, depending on how quickly or how well your ranking is, I mean, remember, you're playing against bots in a single player campaign. You're not playing against, a person on the other side. So I don't know how much that skill improvement is going to truly translate into the game experience. We shall see. I'm looking forward to it. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting once it comes out. And also, I can't wait for feedback on Battlefield 6 and all that stuff. It's gonna be good. I think all this conversation. Look, this is the best time. I know we talked about this a couple of minutes ago, where there's so many games coming out. This is the best time right now in games, man. We have a lot of options. We decide whatever we want now to play games, but it's really, really cool, man. I would love to play Call of Duty on the go, though. I would love to see it on the Switch also. Switch 2?
I would like to see it on Steam. I'm curious on.
You can't have it on Steam. Yeah, I don't know. They say it's considered cheating or whatever. That's why I'm like.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking. That's why I would love to see if I could play the beta on the couch on my Steam Deck, but highly unlikely.
You never know. You never know in the future. All right, we're going to wrap this up right here. Thanks, everyone, for watching or listening to the latest episode of Gamertag Radio. And Pete, man, thanks for joining. I know it's been a while. Thank you so much for joining, man. Hopefully we could do this.
Anytime. I'm always, I can't say I'm always available because I'm always traveling.
You're always on tour.
I should be in town for the next few weeks, and then starting in November, it's travel. I already know.
Hopefully I could get you some codes for the holiday.
I will never say no to free. You know this.
Okay, there you go.
I'm always available for free.
Awesome, man. All right, guys. Thank you. We're going to wrap it up. And no after show. I think it's a little late, right, Pete? Should we do after show?
Yeah. Depends on what you want to talk about.
I don't know what to talk about after show.
Yeah.
I don't know. We should
go Canes.
We'll wrap it up. All right. Shout out to Arctic. Arctic, thank you so much for the help, man, everybody. And also Tanya, she was here too. Shout out to her. Mm-hmm. Brianna, everybody. Paris, thanks for calling in. Until next time, we're out. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.